Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a topic that has sparked a lot of discussion online, the relationship between Russia and international banking systems. There's a narrative circulating that Russia has completely expelled certain influential banking families and declared financial independence. This story often suggests a major shift in global power, framing it as a move to ensure that future generations will be born free from outside financial control. So, what's really going on? Let's take a closer look at the facts and the history behind these claims. The story often begins with the idea that since the fall of the Soviet Union, Russia's economy, particularly its central bank, has been heavily influenced by Western financial institutions and the US dollar. The claim is that this influence has limited Russia's economic sovereignty. A key moment often cited in these discussions is a speech attributed to President Putin, where he supposedly announced a complete break from this system. The narrative suggests that he declared Russia would no longer be part of what some call a New World Order controlled by a handful of powerful banking cartels. This is presented as a bold declaration of economic freedom, a move to reclaim national control over the country's finances. To understand the context, we need to look at Russia's economic policies over the past couple of decades. After the economic challenges of the 1990s, Russia did indeed embark on a path to stabilize its economy. A significant part of this strategy involved paying off substantial foreign debts, including those owed to institutions like the International Monetary Fund, or IMF. By the mid-2000s, Russia had successfully paid off its Soviet-era debts ahead of schedule. This was a major achievement, strengthening its financial position and reducing its reliance on foreign creditors. More recently, you might have heard about Russia's policy of de-dollarization. This is a real and documented strategy. For years, Russia has been actively reducing its holdings of US dollars and US Treasury bonds in its foreign exchange reserves. Instead, it has been increasing its holdings of gold, euros, and Chinese yuan. The goal is to insulate the Russian economy from potential US sanctions and reduce its vulnerability to fluctuations in the US dollar. This is a strategic move to bolster economic sovereignty, and it's a policy shared by several other countries seeking to diversify their reserves. The narrative we're examining often ties these actions, paying off debt and de-dollarization, to the idea of a direct confrontation with specific banking families, like the Rothschilds. This family has been at the center of conspiracy theories for centuries, often portrayed as secretly controlling global finance and politics. The story suggests that Putin's actions are a direct and personal blow against this specific group, effectively purging their influence from Russia. However, when we look for official statements or verifiable evidence of a specific decree targeting this or any other single family, the trail goes cold. While Russia's government has certainly taken steps to centralize control over its economy and reduce foreign influence, these actions are typically framed in broad national interest terms. They are about strengthening the state's role in the economy, managing strategic assets, and protecting against external economic pressure. The Bank of Russia, the country's central bank, is a state institution. Its policies are determined by the Russian government in line with the country's national economic strategy. The idea that it was once privately controlled by a foreign entity and has now been liberated is a dramatic simplification of a much more complex history of economic policy evolution. The changes we've seen are part of a long-term trend towards greater state control and economic nationalism, rather than a single event targeting a specific group. So, why does this particular narrative resonate so strongly with so many people? It taps into a deep-seated distrust of centralized power and global financial institutions. The idea of a heroic national leader standing up to a shadowy cabal is a powerful and compelling story. It offers a simple explanation for complex economic and geopolitical issues. It frames global events as a clear battle between good and evil, a struggle for freedom against oppression. These stories often gain traction during times of geopolitical tension and economic uncertainty. When people feel that global systems are unfair or working against their interests, narratives that promise a dramatic shift or a reclamation of power can be very appealing. The idea that a major world power is leading a charge for a new, fairer system gives hope to those who feel disenfranchised. The phrase, "our children will be born free," is particularly powerful. It speaks to a universal desire for a better future, free from the burdens and perceived injustices of the past. It transforms a discussion about economic policy into a moral crusade for the freedom of future generations. This emotional appeal is a key reason why these narratives are so widely shared and believed, even when they lack direct verifiable proof for some of their more sensational claims. In conclusion, while Russia has undeniably taken significant steps to assert its economic sovereignty, reduce its reliance on the US dollar, and strengthen state control over its financial system, the popular story of a direct annihilation of a specific banking cartel is more of a powerful narrative than a documented historical event. The reality is a nuanced process of economic policy and geopolitical maneuvering. It's a story of a nation strategically repositioning itself on the global stage. Understanding the difference between the compelling narrative and the documented facts is crucial for making sense of our world. It's important to look at the evidence and consider the broader context of a country's economic strategy. Thank you so much for joining me for this deep dive. I hope this provided some clarity on a complex and fascinating topic. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you won't miss our future content. We love hearing from you, so please share your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, stay curious and keep asking questions.